This is me, it's Queen Elsa, and I'm coming to you today with another exciting edition of Ask An Aquarius. So if you haven't already, please hit the red subscribe button. It's red like my lips. And next to it is a bell. Please smack the bell and you'll get all notifications that come when I do a new video. Today I'm sitting here in my Gay Pride shirt that was picked out for me by a Cancer. I really adore it. So, listen, I wanted to talk to you guys today about something that came to my attention that I did not know and blew me away. I found out last night Omarosa-Newman is an Aquarius. Dun dun dun. Now y'all know I told y'all about these about these negative Aquarius, and when I saw it, I was like, it makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. So the person who sent me the link, they sent me a link to somebody reading a segment of her book, okay? And they said to me, your girl's an Aquarius. That's the caption that they put underneath it. And I looked at it and I listened to it. It was a guy on Facebook, and he's reading the prologue to the book that she just wrote about her and Donald Trump and her time on The Apprentice and all the stuff that has happened. And he said to me, do you feel sorry for her? And he said, what do you think? And I said, you know, I'm going to put it like this. And he asked me about it. And I said, I'm going to respond to you in a video. So this is my response. Number one, I love the fact that Omarosa is dropping tea on Trump. I love the fact that she's telling the world stuff that's done popped off. I love that she has recordings. I love the fact that she wrote this book. I love that she's telling it. Love it. I love the fact of all of that. Every last bit. But Omarosa-Newman is still not invited to the cookout. She is still not. She's still not on my Christmas list, people. I'm going to give her props for a number of things in this video. But I'm going to tell y'all up front, she is not on my Christmas list. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, I like what she's doing. I actually appreciate what she's doing, actually. But my problem with her is this. She's trying to say that she did not know for 15 years that Donald Trump was a racist and a sexist and a jerk. Straight up. She's saying she didn't know this for 15 years. I don't even know him, and I can tell when I first saw him on television the first time. Like, are you serious? I was like 10. You know? And I'm going to give her something. I'm going to give her this. I have loved and been friends with a lot of people who did me dirty. I got 2 Libras that were born on the same day who both betrayed me. One outright, and the other one she just kept doing shit. I don't even know the extent of all the shit she did at this point, because I didn't even, when the friendship was said, done, and over with, and I had released it and forgiven it, I just looked back on life and was like, she was never my friend. I don't even know all the stuff she might have done. I don't even care, you know? I just know it and let it go. So I was friends with her for like 9 years. I was friends with him for like 8 or 9 years. So I understand that you can care about somebody or be friends with somebody, and especially as an Aquarius, and not know that they're shady. I understand that, because Aquarius give our friends a lot of chances that we don't even give our lovers. We give our friends more leeway than we even do our lovers. Our lovers do something, we cut them like an afro. Our friends, we have a tendency to work with a lot more. So I understand that you can get things wrong. I understand you can care about somebody that betrays you. But I do not believe her when she says that she did not know for 15 years that Donald Trump was the way he is. She's lying. And that's the part that bothers me about her. Because I know for a fact she's really smart, number one. She's been through a lot too. I looked at her after all this happened. I looked at her. I've never paid her any mind before. I've always just got a vibe from her like it wasn't worth my time. So I never actually looked into her before. But after he sent me that clip last night, I Googled her real fast just to see what I'm dealing with here. And I saw that she's been through a lot. She had a brother that was murdered. She had a father that was murdered. She is, in my opinion, another one of those Cinderella stories. Somebody who started from the absolute bottom and now she's chia. Way up chia, you know? And I understand that. I respect that too. I respect the person who works their way from the claws, their way from the bottom up. More so than I would give respect to somebody whose mommy and daddy pay for everything, you know? Even though some of them do work hard too. I've seen some of them work hard as well. But for the most part, the ones I've known personally haven't. Even though I know. And the ones who, like I said, work from the bottom up, have nothing, you know, and work their way up to these great heights. I really respect that because I know what it takes to level up. I've been leveling up my entire life and I know what it takes, the energy, the determination. I know that. So I respect a lot of things about her, and she's Aquarius. So I'm like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. But what I don't respect is the lying. She knew how he was and who he was. And I would respect her and invite her to the cookout and make her plate if she would come on TV and say, you know what? I knew from back deep he was who he was, and I didn't care. I was more concerned about what I was trying to do, what I wanted to get out of life, than I was what he was doing, who he was. I did not care. That for me would be enough. That's what I need to hear from her. Her coming off like, well, he's a jerk and I didn't know. I was blinded by him. We were, you know, she coming off like she had no idea who he was. Even the friends that I had that betrayed me, there was inclinations that they were capable of betrayal. I could never sit here and tell you I had no idea. Like if I think about the Libra female I told you about, I can't sit here and say I have no idea because another friend, one of her friends that wasn't my friend, told me some things about her that she said about me years before we stopped being friends. So there was already inclinations there and I let them slide. I was like, well, you know, it's this, it's that, you know? I let them slide. So I understand how that happens. I'm sure some of you might have even let that happen before. But the bottom line is that now you trying to come to me with a book deal. Now you want me to buy your book so you could spread the tea on a dude that you knew wasn't worth your time or worth our time from back deep. This woman fought to have this man become president. She defended him when he did unspeakable things against African Americans. She was in charge of African American affairs at the White House. She ain't look out for us. When he did things that was insensitive, she didn't say, oh, I shouldn't say she didn't say anything to him because I don't know what she said to him, but she didn't put it out there to the American people. So my thing is that she is lying about that aspect of it. Now, the rest of the things that she's saying, I believe her. And I'm going to tell you why I believe her. Because she got checks and balances. She got Uber receipts. You know, she got everything. She got recordings. You know, when the guy was reading the prologue to the book, she has what we call a paper trail. She got documentation. She can prove the things that she's saying. So I'm cool with that part. But the part I'm not cool with is all the lying. Keep it real, Omarosa. Just tell the people I didn't care. I wanted this opportunity. I was trying to claw my way to the top, and I didn't care. Now that I done got disgraced, I can see and be honest with you, and now I can give you the tapes, and now you can move from here. Tell me the truth. You see what I'm saying? Another thing is, I don't like how they disgrace the poor child. I really don't. Because let me tell y'all something. Corporate America, especially where there are racist white people. I'm not saying all white people. I'm saying specifically racist white people. When you have racist white people in corporate America and hating people of color, this is the kind of thing they do to you. They fire you for no reason, just because they don't like you. And then they put out all these lies and rumors about you. And they did the same thing to her. And I don't condone that because that's been done to me. I've had 2 different jobs in my lifetime that did the same thing. Matter of fact, maybe even 3 now that I think about it. Because when I was a young girl, the first formal job I had, I got fired because I was wearing black lipstick. I'll never forget this. I got fired from my job. I had been there for a couple months or so. And when I got fired, they said it was because I wore black lipstick. I did something and I was dressed too grown. It said I was like 16 years old. And she said I was dressed too grown. I think I had like on a business top or some shit. And I got fired from this job. And I remember being so devastated because I really, really didn't like the job, but I wanted to keep it, you know? And I remember being so devastated by this whole thing. And ever since then, I've seen this happen to people and had it happen to myself on 2 other occasions. This is what they do to you in corporate America. This is what racist white people and people of color who are sellouts will do to you. They find a way to fire you when you didn't even do anything. They just don't like you. If somebody, I don't know how it works in other countries, because in America we have this thing called at-will states. An at-will state can fire you for any reason, unless you have a union. That's why I'm always telling people, don't play with these unions. Y'all better keep them unions, because some people, the only reason why you got a job is because of the unions. The unions make it harder for employers to fire you for stupid stuff like this. But if there is no union, this is the kind of thing that happens. So somebody doesn't like you, the right somebody doesn't like you, and then they make up some crap and fire you for it. In my case, it was wearing black lipstick and dressing too grown, which I never was given a dress code. Now, in reality, my mom should have sued them, in reality, but it was 40 years ago, 30 years ago or something. I didn't know. She didn't even know what was going on. And I didn't know. And bottom line was, I was never given a dress code. I was never said, you know, we have to look a certain kind of way. I was just told, you know, to do my job, basically. And when I got fired, it said I had on black lipstick and I dressed too grown. So what does that tell you? The VP didn't like me, which she didn't, and I didn't like her. So she went to the higher up and got me fired, period. And what do? It's an at-will state, Pennsylvania. They don't have to have a reason. They just give some crap. And in states that they do have to have a reason, they do the same thing. They just give some crap. So in Omarosa's case, they said she was overusing the car service. You mean to tell me you fired the head of African American Affairs because she was overusing the car service? Now, mind you, this is the service that takes her to whatever thing she has to go to for work. She went to an event for work, and they're trying to say it wasn't for work, and then told her that she had to resign. So naturally, she resigned. Then, to add insult to injury, because this is what these jobs do, because the second time I had a situation happen to me where I got fired twice in my lifetime. The second time was the same thing. I got fired because the head person didn't like me and I didn't like her. She was fake. I'm going to just give it to you real. She was fake. And I was aggressive. So fake and aggressive do not match, okay? And we didn't get along. And they were doing all kinds of stuff. It was the kind of place where it was a high turnover. So teachers were always quitting. They were always getting fired. It was a really bad place. They didn't take really good care of us. It was cold in there. They didn't have heat. It was a lot of problems in this place I was working. And I was fed up. I was fed up with them and they was fed up with me, letting them know how fed up I was. So she had me fired because I didn't come to work. I called out sick. And she said that it was a time when we weren't allowed to call out sick and had me fired. And When I was packing my stuff and saying goodbye to the other teachers, she had the head teacher come downstairs and tell me that I needed to be escorted out of the building immediately. For what? And all of my days, I have always heard stories about people who have shot up their job. You know, postal workers going postal and things like that. But in all my days, I have never seen somebody get fired and wild out like that. I've heard about it, but I've never seen it. And after listening to Omarosa, I'm starting to wonder, is it ever even true? Because they said that Omarosa wild out and they had to call security. The same way they had this woman come escort me out of the building. Come on now. What am I going to do but get my little box of my plant and leave? Like, seriously. And they do that not because you're dangerous. They do that to humiliate you. That's all that's about. They're mad at this point. They done fired you and now they want to humiliate you. So now they going to have security take you out the building. Everybody saw that movie Friday where Craig got fired on his day off. And what did they tell Craig? They told Craig they had him on tape stealing boxes. Craig ain't steal no boxes. He probably, I think he went to get his check or something. He ain't steal them boxes. Somebody didn't like him and wanted to get him fired. And that's how these jobs work. And they did the same exact thing to Omarosa. Then they had her escorted out of the building and then leaked the rumor that she wilded out. But she didn't wild out. And what was funny about the whole thing was that she said, if I had wild out, where's the video footage? TMZ would have paid for that footage. You and I, we all know watching this video right now, they would have paid for that footage. So anyway, the bottom line is that Omarosa has now written this book and she's told everything, all the tea about what they did to her, and it was really messed up. So I do feel bad about that. I feel bad that they treated her like that because I've been in that position before. You know, like I said before, these businesses are cutthroat and they're very nasty with you. As soon as something goes down, they're very nasty. So I do sympathize with her in that area. I sympathize with her life. I respect the fact that she climbed up. I found out that she's also a Baptist minister, which I'm like, what? That really shocked me. You know, but then I'm like, she's Aquarius. We love spirit and spirituality, so it makes sense. So I just wanted to put that out there. But she's not invited to the cookout because she's still lying. She knew who he was a long time before she's admitting it. She's saying that she's just now figuring it out. She's lying. She knew for a long time. And that's why she's not invited to the cookout, is because she's still not being 100% honest. She's being more honest now than she was before, but she's not being 100% honest about that part. And that's the part I need her to be honest about. I need her to just say straight up, I didn't care. I wanted this money. I wanted this opportunity, and here it is. Okay? And also, this woman is brilliant, which I also didn't know. Just from looking at her credentials, I think she got a PhD or is close to a PhD. I mean, this woman is brilliant. So you can't tell me that you couldn't look at this man and see before 15 years what you were dealing with. So that's my feelings about Omarosa versus Donald Trump. I think that he's a snake and I think she's a liar. And I think that she's redeemable if she'll be more honest. If she'll be more honest and stop playing this I didn't know game, I would be a lot more cool with her. Donald, I'm never going to be cool with. Donald is a con man. And I knew he was a con man at 10 years old. And if you can't tell that Donald is a con man, I don't know what to tell you. Because life is a lot harder than figuring that out. That's the easiest thing in the world to figure out. So, like I said before, that's my feelings on Omarosa versus Donald Trump. I think that she got a good book deal out of it. She'll probably make a lot of money. She got the opportunities that she wanted. And I would really just like to see her be honest about it. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. This is why I'm honest with y'all. This is why I tell y'all the stuff I tell y'all. Some people be like, why do you tell people that? And I'm like, because somebody else already know. Anything that goes on with us now, somebody either knows about it got a tape on it, got pictures of you doing it, something. Nothing is a secret anymore, especially in this day and age with recordings. Omarosa taped these meetings with a pen, an ink pen that looked like that's a recorder. It looks like a pen, but it's really a recorder. So basically nowadays, people are spying on a level that's James Bond 007. You know what I'm saying? So I keep it real because anything I say to y'all, somebody else will tell you anyway. And I don't want people telling y'all my tea when I'm dead. I want to tell y'all my tea today. I want y'all to know my tea now. You know, because the bottom line is that I want to tell my own story. I want you to know what I did, my motivations for doing it, and if I need to apologize, I want to apologize. You know, I don't want somebody telling the tell-all book when I'm dead with 30 pages of shit that didn't really even happen. Okay? So, that's today's spot. I don't know what you guys think about it. I know some of y'all aren't in the United States, so maybe you didn't even hear about it. But for those of you who are in the African American community, or for those of you who've heard about it or, you know, care about the topic at all, please tell me what you think in the comments. Do you forgive Omarosa? Is she invited to your cookout? Can she bring the potato salad? You let me know.